Have you ever wondered what it was really like to live in the 1800s? We often see it romanticized in movies and books, with beautiful dresses and grand balls. But the reality for most people was a world away from that. Let's take a journey back in time and explore the everyday life of the 19th century. First, let's talk about the morning routine. There were no alarm clocks, so people woke up with the sun. For a farmer, that meant being up before dawn to milk the cows and feed the animals. In the city, a factory worker's day started just as early, signaled by a loud factory whistle. Your first task? Probably lighting a fire. The fireplace or wood-burning stove was the heart of the home, used for both heat and cooking. And forget about a quick shower. Bathing was a weekly event at best, involving heating water over the fire and filling a metal tub. It was a chore, not a luxury. Now, what's for breakfast? Forget your avocado toast or cereal. You'd likely be eating something simple and hearty, like porridge, bread with butter, or maybe some leftover stew from the night before. Food was seasonal and locally sourced because it had to be. There were no giant supermarkets. You either grew it, raised it, or bought it from the local market. Food preservation was a constant challenge, relying on methods like salting, smoking, and canning to get through the winter. Work life was grueling. The Industrial Revolution was in full swing, and cities were booming. Many people left their farms for factories, where they worked long hours, often 12 to 14 hours a day. 6 days a week in dangerous conditions for very little pay. There were no safety regulations, and accidents were common. For women and children, the situation was often even tougher. Meanwhile, in rural areas, life revolved around the agricultural calendar. Planting, tending, and harvesting were back-breaking tasks done entirely by hand or with the help of animals. When the workday was finally over, what did people do for fun? Without electricity, evenings were dark. Homes were lit by candlelight or oil lamps, which gave off a dim, smoky light. Reading was a popular pastime for those who could afford books and had enough light. Families would often gather to tell stories, sing songs, or play simple games. In towns, you might find a traveling show, a local theater performance, or a community dance. Social life was incredibly important. People relied on their neighbors for everything, from borrowing a cup of sugar to helping build a barn. Communication was a world apart from our instant messaging. If you wanted to talk to someone who lived far away, you wrote a letter. It could take weeks or even months for a letter to travel across the country or overseas. The telegraph was a game changer, but it was expensive and used for short, urgent messages. News traveled slowly, spreading through newspapers and word of mouth. Imagine hearing about a major world event weeks after it happened. Life in the 1800s was a constant struggle against the elements, illness, and exhaustion. But it was also a time of immense innovation, community spirit, and resilience. People built our modern world with their bare hands and sheer determination. So next time you flip a light switch or send a text, take a moment to appreciate how different life was just a few generations ago. Thanks for joining me on this trip back in time. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the past, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more stories. See you in the next one.